The notification hit my phone like a fire alarm I couldn't silence. An e-transfer for $18,400 had just left our joint account destination, Sienna Ray. Sienna is my spouse's younger sister. I'm Daniel, 33, a data analyst in Toronto. My wife, Mara, and I have been married 3 years, together for 5. We split bills, we plan, we save. This morning, our joint savings sat at just over $52,000. Now, it was $336 my hands were shaking. Too hard to finish the math. Sienna is 27 and allergic to boring things like rent, due dates, and budgets. In the last 2 years, she's been between gigs as a yoga instructor, a jewelry maker, a van life vlogger, and most recently, the visionary behind a wellness apothecary, selling moon water in recycled gin bottles. Evictions? 2. Car repossessed? Once. Crashed on friends' couches? Often. Mara's defense has always been the same. She had it rough after Dad left. I don't lack empathy. But empathy isn't a credit line. I called Mara the second the bank ping hit. Tell me that was a fraud alert. She didn't miss a beat. Oh, yeah, I meant to tell you tonight. Sienna needed a deposit for a live-work studio. Her landlord was threatening to lock her out. It's temporary. She'll pay us back. $18,400 is not temporary, I said, forcing my voice flat. You moved that money without a word. It's our money, Daniel. And she's family. She said it like someone announcing they picked up oat milk. I sat in my car, breath fogging the windshield in the condo garage. I could go upstairs and explode, or I could walk in with facts. I chose facts. I pulled every statement for the last 12 months and stared until patterns appeared. 3 earlier transfers, I hadn't clocked $700 in February to Esray, $1,250 in April, $900 in June. Small enough to slip under radar. A new card inquiry I didn't recognize. And a backup email on our bank profile I'd never seen. That's when I called the CFP I trust, Asha Okoy. I explained everything. This is financial infidelity, she said. When one partner unilaterally moves significant joint funds and hides the trail, it's a breach of trust and a breach of your plan. Do this tonight. Enable two-factor with your phone as primary, remove secondary emails, freeze your credit, and open a separate emergency fund in your name. Tomorrow, ask the bank for dual authorization on any withdrawal over $500. And the $18,400? Document it. You'll need a paper trail if this escalates. Escalates. I already knew it would. Upstairs, Mara was sauteing garlic like nothing had detonated. You changed the bank email, I said, setting my laptop on the counter. It's just a backup. And you've transferred thousands to Sienna for months. She lifted the pan, squinting at me. They were small. I didn't think it needed a committee vote. The size isn't the point. The secrecy is. She sighed the way people sigh before calling you unreasonable. We make 6 figures together. We'll recover. I'm also thinking she can crash here for a month while she stabilizes. She can take the den. You offered her our home without asking me. It's my home, too. And it's our plan. We've said no to so many things: cars, trips, so the plan could live. You can't mortgage the plan to fund her latest reinvention. Mara stared at the pan like it might rescue her. You don't get how hard it's been for her. I get it. I also get that we can help without torching boundaries. She looked past me at the wall. I'm not abandoning my sister. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to stop abandoning us. We went to bed as strangers. The next morning I did what Asha said. Two-factor, email removed, credit frozen, and a new account for my portion of our emergency fund. Legal, documented, by noon. The bank confirmed dual approval was active on large transfers at 3:10 p.m. Sienna called me directly, like we were teammates in a caper. Hey, King. Mara said the den is mine for a bit, bless you. I'll bring the parrot and the kill on Saturday. The parrot's name is Atlas. He's sweet. The kill is for Clay Halter Bowles. They off-gas a little, but it's natural. We live in a condo, I said. No open flames, no pets over 15 pounds, no exhaust-vented appliances, and the guest limit is 10 nights per month. She laughed. Rules are suggestions. It's giving scarcity mindset. I emailed our property manager, Mr. Chun, and asked for the bylaws I'd never bothered to read. Guests capped at 10 nights in any 30-day period. Anyone beyond it must be approved, added to the lease, and pass screening, employment, and credit check. No birds, no kilns, no temporary storage of commercial equipment. Quiet hours strictly enforced. Fines cheerful in yellow highlight. I printed the pages and set a pen beside them. That night, I made Mara an offer that hurt to make because it was so reasonable. We can help Sienna in a way that's actually help, I said. 1. She signs a written loan agreement for the $18,400 and the earlier transfers, with a schedule starting in 60 days. 2. Proof of steady employment for 90 days or enrollment in a skills program, plus 1 session with a credit counselor. 3. If she stays here, it's capped at 10 nights in a month. No pets, no kill, and she signs house rules. 4. Any further transfers require both our signatures. Mara's jaw tightened. I'm not treating my sister like a tenant. I'm treating our life like it matters. You've never liked her, she snapped. You think you're better. I didn't care about her thrifted furs or tarot business. I cared about vacuum-sealed envelopes of cash walking out the door while someone who promised me partnership called it loyalty. This is not about Sienna, I said. It's about lies. She stared at the printed bylaws, then at me. She's moving in Saturday, she said. Whether you like it or not, Saturday arrived like a dare dot at 8 a.m. A rental van screeched into the loading zone. Sienna hopped out in a velvet blazer and combat boots, waving at the concierge like she owned the place. Atlas the parrot shrieked from a cage the size of a wardrobe. 2 friends unloaded an industrial dehydrator, sconces, a 6-foot driftwood mirror, and 3 plastic bins labeled herbs, not weed. Had already booked Mr. Chandat. He arrived with a clipboard and the patience of a man who has seen everything. Ms. Ray, he said, no pets of this size, no appliances, no commercial storage, no move without a booking. Sienna gestured to Mara. My sister said it's fine. Mr. Chun smiled at her, then at the bylaws. Your sister doesn't sign the fines. He tipped his head toward me. He does, Mara flushed. Come on, man. It's temporary. Rules are not suggestions, Mr. Chun said, almost kindly. They're agreements you made when you chose to live here. He glanced at the parrot. Atlas is handsome. Atlas cannot live here. They reloaded the van. Atlas screamed obscenities he had definitely learned from humans. Sienna flicked her eyes at me like a curse. That afternoon, I met with a family lawyer, Daniela Rios. I brought a binder, transfers, screenshots, the email change, Sienna's texts, condo bylaws, Usha's written recommendations, and a ledger tallying every dollar that fled our plan. This is dissipation of marital assets, Ms. Rios said, flipping pages. Courts don't like secret giveaways. We can petition for interim orders, exclusive possession of the condo, preservation of assets, repayment of sums transferred without consent, and an order limiting overnight guests. I'm not sure I want to divorce, I admitted. I want the lying to end. Sometimes interim orders are the only way people here know, she said. Monday morning. We filed. Monday afternoon, Mara found the papers and went very quiet. You went to a lawyer, she said. I went to a boundary, I said. She slept on the sofa that night and the next. 3 days later, Sienna tried to slip the parrot past the concierge in a hoodie. Second warning issued, Mr. Chan said, weary as a kindergarten teacher. Next is a fine. The hearing came fast. We sat in a wood-paneled room that smelled like lemon cleaner and echoes. The judge listened to Ms. Rios explain how many times money had moved without consent. Mara's lawyer emphasized family. A sister in need. Need does not annul consent, the judge said, not unkindly. Marriage is a fiduciary relationship. You don't get to decide unilaterally if thousands leave the community pot. In plain terms, that's a breach. Mara stared at the table. The judge granted interim exclusive possession to me. He ordered that Sienna not reside in or store belongings at the condo. He ordered preservation of assets, and this part felt like a gavel-hitting bone repayment of the $18,400 and the smaller transfers from Mara's share in any eventual division. You may attempt to collect from your sister, he added, but your spouse is not a venture capitalist for your extended family. Outside, Mara exhaled like a tire. You humiliated me, she said. You humiliated us, I said. You just finally felt it. That night, the apartment was so quiet, I could hear the elevator cables hum. Mara stood in the bedroom doorway like a person at a closed door. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, she said. I'm sorry you still think that's the only thing you did, I said. She's my sister. I know, I said. And I was your husband. For a week, we were polite. She messaged Sienna about a repayment plan. Sienna sent back voice notes about vibrations and abundance. Mara picked up extra shifts and stopped buying espresso. I slept for the first time in weeks. 2 weeks later, Mara asked for counseling. I said yes. In intake, the therapist asked what we wanted most. I said, a partner who does not make me an obstacle. Mara said, a husband who understands family loyalty. We stared at each other like two people at separate windows overlooking the same rain. In the second session, the therapist asked if Mara would set a boundary with Sienna if it meant losing her approval. She didn't answer. In the third session, she said, I don't think I can be the person you need. For once, there were no villains, just two people whose definitions of love had collided. We filed the divorce jointly, civilly. No kids, modest assets. I kept the condo and bought out her equity. She kept her car and her retirement account. The interim order rolled into the final. No storage, no unapproved guests. Reimbursement due within 6 months. Sienna sent her a photo of a vision board with a check for $22,000 taped in the middle and the word Manifest in gold. She didn't send money. When the decree arrived, I went to the lake and watched the fairies cut the water into neat ribbons. I texted Asha a photo of a new spreadsheet with automatic investments and a separate emergency fund labeled Me. I emailed Mr. Chun a thank you and brought the concierge pastries for mediating the Atlas saga. I booked a solo trip to the Azores and saved a folder on my phone called Things I Want Because I Want Them. A decent chef's knife, a Saturday ceramics class in a studio with proper ventilation, blackout curtains. Mara texted me once, a photo of Sienna's van, parked behind a co-working space, Atlas sitting on the dashboard like a green hood ornament. She be okay, she wrote. I hope you will be too, I replied. I never loved money. I loved what faithfulness to a plan promised. Choice, steadiness, the dignity of living inside promises we made to each other. In the end, the dollar amounts were just trail markers pointing to a more important thing, whether partnership meant decide and you accept, or we decide and we move. We answered that differently. If you're hearing this because a transfer ping just gutted your stomach, breathe. Print the statements. Call a professional who will tell you the plain words. Ask for dual approvals. Read the bylaws. Name what happened. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're how you love your life in full. As for Atlas, he learned a new phrase somewhere along the way. When Mr. Chun held the lobby door for Sienna one last time, the parrot bobbed on her shoulder and squawked. Perfectly. No pets. Mr. Chun laughed, and so did I, because sometimes the universe returns your boundaries in a voice you didn't expect.